Hello, Liverpool fans. Welcome to the Liverpool Report, your go-to source for the latest news, match updates, and transfer stories straight from Anfield. Don't miss out on any of the action. Hit that subscribe button now and stay in the loop with all things Reds. Aston Villa held Liverpool to an entertaining 2-2 draw as the Reds stretched their lead to 8 points clear at the top, but missed the chance to go 10 clear of Arsenal. The visitors took the lead when a dreadful error from Andres Garcia on his first Villa start allowed Diogo Jota to square for Mohamed Salah to fire home, before Villa dragged themselves level when Youri Tielemans fired in after Liverpool failed to clear. Ollie Watkins then put Villa ahead as he headed home Lucas Digne's cross before the break, after which Jota struck the crossbar from range. Trent Alexander-Arnold then fired Liverpool level with a deflected effort, before Reds substitute Darwin Nunez missed a glorious chance after being found by Dominik Szoboszlai. Villa sub Doniel Malen then almost won it with the final kick. Here are the game's main talking points. From the off, what struck you about both sides was just how different they looked to how we've usually seen them. In Villa's case, that was due to personnel, with Garcia, Axel Disasi, Marco Asensio, and Marcus Rashford all in from the start, with all but Disasi making their first starts for the club. Liverpool's selections have stayed largely consistent all season in terms of the players on the pitch, but here there was a slight tweak as Salah and Jota were the only two recognised forwards. Arneslot was seemingly looking for his side to take more control in the middle of the pitch through both Dominik Szoboszlai and curtisjones, and they did that from the off as the visitors started well, but Villa would soon overcome that. One thing we know about Unai Emery is that he will never back down from a challenge, and it was as though Villa saw beating the Liverpool press as a test they had to pass in the first half. They usually did, but playing out from the back eventually cost them. Garcia passed the ball straight to Jota on the corner of his own penalty area, and the Portuguese, who otherwise looked rusty in front of goal, was always going to lay it off to Salah for the opener. And his 38th goal contribution in the Premier League this season, Cristiano Ronaldo got 37 in that stellar 2007-08 campaign. It had appeared as though Villa had just rode out the Liverpool pressure at that moment, but a key slip cost them. Ahead in the game and seeking to punish Villa's high line, you thought that this clash looked perfectly set up for Liverpool at 0-1. But a combination of their own slack play and Villa's determination saw the hosts wrestle control. Liverpool were far too reactive, both in defence and midfield, to the Villa attackers building momentum, and it was no real surprise when Tielemans fired in after several missed attempts to clear Liverpool's lines. Worse was to come for the Reds right at the end of the first half, as Digne got forward down the left and crossed expertly for Watkins to head home. Villa had applied the slightest of pressure, and it had paid off for them, with Liverpool floored. Liverpool didn't start the second half all that well, and there were a couple of occasions when Villa could have extended their lead, most notably when Rashford rounded Alisson, but couldn't finish from the range. That might have been the incident which focused Liverpool minds, and soon enough it was the visitors who wrestled control of the game, winning a succession of corners before, as they took advantage of Villa's insistence on pushing forward. They equalised when Alexander-Arnold and Salah almost insisted the ball went over the line, with the former firing in via a deflection. So a chance to go 10 points clear is lost, and now it is Arsenal who have the tantalising advantage of a game in hand. This difficult run of games was always going to present the chance for Liverpool to streak ahead, but Slot will point to just how hard these fixtures have been, with easier matches on the horizon after the meetings with Manchester City and Newcastle in the next week. The Reds are going to have to start winning consistently again soon, though, as they are losing their vice-like grip on this league. Darwin Nunez was quite down in the Liverpool dressing room after missing a golden opportunity to put the Reds ahead at Aston Villa, according to his manager, Arneslot, Uruguayan. Forward Nunez could only shoot wide of an open net when he was teed up by Dominik Szoboszlai with the score at 2-2 at Villa Park, but ultimately Liverpool had to end up settling for a draw from an entertaining contest as they extended their lead at the top to 8 points. The Reds took the lead at Villa Park when Diogo Jota fed Mohamed Salah for the opener, But Jota then missed a golden chance to restore his side's lead shortly after Youri Tielemans had equalised Ollie Watkins, then headed Villa in front in the closing stages of the first half, with Trent Alexander-Arnold firing the Reds level via a deflection. Nunez then missed a golden chance to win it when he skewed an opportunity wide of an open net, after Szoboszlai's pass across goal looked to have given him the perfect opportunity. Slot said he was happy with his side's performance in what was an open game, but he was left to rue the missed chances and the one from Nunez in particular. So you have to play the game as it unfolds. And today, we played a team that wanted to play the ball out from the back. So we had some very good moments, scored the first goal from a good pressing moment, but we took it the way the game went, and they came back in the final minute when Daniel Malen shot wide. But if you look at the chances we had in the second half to go in front, you can understand there's one person in the dressing room that feels quite down, and you know who it is, I think. Slot added that Liverpool will assess the fitness of right-back Connor Bradley, who was taken off with what appeared to be a hamstring injury. Liverpool missed the chance to open up a 10-point lead on Arsenal in the race for the Premier League crown. The Reds played out a hard-fought 2-2 draw with Aston Villa at Villa Park, but could have won the game had Darwin Nunez been able to convert a golden chance from just 6 yards out. Arne Slot's men are still in pole position ahead of the title run-in though, with the gap between them and Arsenal now at 8 points. Liverpool are also one step closer to discovering who they will face in the last 16 of the Champions League after the final round of playoff fixtures were played on Wednesday night. Virgil-van-Dijk admitted that Liverpool blew a golden chance to put some serious daylight between themselves and Arsenal at the Premier League summit. The Reds took the lead in the first half through Mohamed Salah before goals from Youri Tielemans and Ollie Watkins turned the game on its head. Trent Alexander-Arnold struck on the hour mark to restore parity for Liverpool, who had chances to win and open up a 10-point lead at the top of the table. Darwin Nunez missed a huge chance from 6 yards, and Van Dijk was the first to admit Liverpool wasted their chance to beat Villa and strengthen their position in the Premier League title race. Darwin Nunez was quite down in the Liverpool dressing room after missing a golden chance to win the game against Aston Villa, says Arne Slot. The Reds striker could have won the game with the scores level at 2-2, but couldn't convert from close range as both sides shared the points. And Slot admitted, "We had some very good moments, scored the first goal from a good pressing moment, but we took it the way the game went, and they came back in the final minute when Daniel Malen shot wide. But if you look at the chances we had in the second half to go in front, you can understand there's one person in the dressing room that feels quite down, and you know who it is, I think. Liverpool are a step closer to discovering their next opponents ahead of Friday's draw for the last 16 phase of the Champions League. The Reds had 4 potential opponents at the start of the week, but that has now been whittled down to just 2 following the conclusion of the second round of playoff fixtures. They will face either Paris Saint-Germain or Benfica after the former thrashed Brest 10-0 on aggregate, with the other team set to play Barcelona. Liverpool have the chance to go 10 points clear of Premier League rivals Arsenal this week if they can secure victory over Aston Villa on Wednesday night. Arne Slot led his side to a narrow 2-1 win over Wolves on the weekend after the Gunners briefly reduced their lead by beating Leicester City 2-0 on Saturday with a depleted squad. The Reds are now bidding to extend their advantage over Mikel Arteta's men, but they'll face a tough test against an impressive Villa side under Unai Emery. Liverpool Report has taken a look at the biggest stories, team news and gossip around Liverpool ahead of the game at Villa Park. Arne Slot has dismissed claims Liverpool are feeling the pressure of the title race as the bid to hold off Arsenal and lift their first Premier League crown since 2020. The Reds are favourites to become champions as Arsenal struggle with injuries and a fair way behind them, while holders Manchester City are 12 points behind them and firmly out of sight. But Liverpool face a tough game at Villa Park this week and will know that a shock defeat, followed by an Arsenal win on the weekend, could make things interesting as we approach the climax of the season. Slot, however, has rejected claims Liverpool are nervy in the race for the title and said the team have showed they can deal with pressure all season long. I think it is being described as nervy because we are coming towards the end of season, and not because of us, but because of what people make of it. Slot explained before Wednesday's clash with Aston Villa. We've played more games away from home, where we have won by 1 goal. I remember Palace away when Jaros had to make a big save. We didn't need the big save against Wolves, but people are talking about nerves. When you are only leading by 1 goal, it's going to need a lot of defending and hard work. A lot of people talk about nerves at this stage of the season. Not me, Mohamed Salah looks no closer to agreeing new terms at Liverpool with just 4 months until he becomes a free agent. Salah continues to enjoy a magnificent season after netting 28 times in 36 games, a key part of Liverpool's title challenge, but the Egyptian looks like to leave in the summer, with the Saudi Pro League the most likely destination. There have been some signs that the 32-year-old could stay at Anfield after all, after his agent recently praised the work of arneslot. But now a leading sports lawyer has told Liverpool they might be better off letting the star forward leave. Daniel Guy, who's a partner in the sport group at Sheridan's law firm, says there is a cynical view that players actually underperform in the years after renewing their deals, so he wouldn't be surprised if Liverpool decided to let Salah's deal expire. Liverpool have been paying these 3 players at an undervalue for the last 18 months or so, he told Reds icon Jamie Carragher on the Overlap fan debate with Sky Bet via the Liverpool Report. Whatever Salah was worth 3 years ago, he might be worth a lot more now in terms of his performance levels. And then there's another, more cynical view. There's a lot of data research suggesting players looking to renew their deals actually overperform in the season of the renewal and massively underperform in the couple of seasons after that renewal. So I wouldn't put it past them at all for Chief Executive Michael Edwards, Sporting Director Richard Hughes, and Technical Director Julian Ward to be playing an absolute blinder. It'll all be determined at the end of the season if they play well or not and win the League and Champions League. It's fair to say Darwin Nunez hasn't enjoyed the best of times for Liverpool in recent weeks after going 7 games without a goal. Things look to be turning around for the Uruguayan after he netted a late brace to seal a valuable 2-0 win over Brentford last month. But since then he's only started 2 matches in cup competitions and has had to settle for appearances off the bench in the Premier League. He featured for 26 minutes off the bench in the 2-1 win over Wolves on Sunday and struggled to get into the game. And club legend John Aldridge wasn't happy with the player's attitude after he came on. The former striker, who played 104 times for the Reds between 1986 and 1989, told the Liverpool Report, "When Darwin Nunez came on, I watched him and I didn't really see him sprint once. I was so disappointed with him. If he doesn't do his work rate, that's what he normally gives us. He normally offers work rate and goes about upsetting people, but he didn't really do any of those things. I swear, I watched him and he was just going through the motions. Now, if you're coming on as a Liverpool player for the last half hour, you have to show the manager, the team and the fans what it means to you, that you actually want your place."